Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. Okay, to all of you Introduction to Management students listening out there, I really want you to step right into the shoes of a future manager today. Because look, you can have the absolute most brilliant, visionary plan in the entire world, but I am here to tell you with absolute certainty, planning without controlling is entirely useless. You might as well just be making wishes. So today, we're going to learn exactly how to make sure those big plans actually become reality. Okay, let's dive into this visual syllabus. We're looking at Section 1, Defining Management Control. Section 2, the 4-step control process. Section 3, Taking Corrective Action. And Section 4, Why Controlling Matters. Starting with Section 1, Defining Management Control, the steering wheel of business. We need to understand exactly what controlling is before we look at how it works. So before we get into the nitty-gritty mechanics, let's get our definition straight. If your strategic plan is the map, then controlling is absolutely the steering wheel that keeps your car on the road. Formally, controlling is the process of ensuring that actual activities conform to planned activities. You guys have already learned all about planning, organizing, and leading, right? Well, controlling is that vital mechanism that helps you, as a manager, monitor the actual effectiveness of all those other activities. It's basically a reality check. And this brilliantly illustrates the core concept. Controlling is all about detecting and then correcting those significant variations from your master plan. It's figuring out what is literally being accomplished on the factory floor or in the office, evaluating that performance, and making absolutely sure it aligns with your original blueprint. Now that we know the definition, let's look at the 4 steps in Section 2, the 4-step control process, the dynamic loop. All right, here is your mental roadmap for the basic control process. Step 1, establishing standards. Step 2, measuring performance. Step 3, determining the match. And Step 4, taking corrective action. Lock these 4 steps into your brain right now, because I guarantee you'll be using them for the rest of your management career. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how these linear steps actually form a continuous dynamic decision loop. It's not just a checklist you cross off and forget about. You establish your standards, you measure your performance, and then boom, you hit a decision diamond. Depending on whether performance matches up, you either loop right back to the beginning or you divert into taking corrective action. Let's break those down a bit more. So step 1, establish standards. Simply put, standards are just your criteria of performance. As a manager, you literally cannot stand over the shoulder of every single employee and watch every little thing they do. It's impossible. So instead, you set precisely worded, measurable objectives. If you're running a bank branch, your standard isn't something like good customer service. That is way too vague. Your standard is a 5-minute maximum wait time for bank customers. See the difference? It's clear, it's objective, and it gives everyone a solid baseline. Which brings us to step 2, measuring performance. You want to do this looking forward, catching any hiccups early on. But here's the classic manager's dilemma. Some things are incredibly easy to measure. Take technical mass production, for example. You can easily just count the labor hours it takes to produce something. But what about the fuzzy stuff? Try measuring the attitude of labor unions or the enthusiasm and loyalty of your team. In those cases, the standards are super vague, and measuring them is extremely difficult. Yet it's still absolutely crucial for you to gauge them as best as you possibly can. Then we hit step 3 with a critical question. Does performance actually match the standards? If the answer is yes, awesome. You can assume everything is totally under control, and you do nothing. You just let the system run. It's an easy step, but an incredibly important one, because it tells you exactly when to keep your hands off the steering wheel. Section 3, taking corrective action, recalculating the route. So the crucial point is, what happens when performance inevitably falls short? Well, that is when you actually have to step in. Think of corrective action just like the GPS in your car. When you take a wrong turn, what does the GPS do? It immediately says recalculating route. As a manager, when performance drops, you have to recalculate. This might mean changing operations, like if your bank customers are waiting way past 5 minutes, you might need to schedule more counter clerks. But you know what? Sometimes control reveals that your original standards were just completely unrealistic from the get-go. In that case, your corrective action is to revise the standard itself. Either way, you are actively managing the system. Moving fast into Section 4, Why Controlling Matters, High-Stakes Applications. All right, we're pivoting out of textbook theory now and jumping right into the real world. Controlling isn't just bureaucratic red tape. It is absolutely vital for survival. Here are 5 big reasons why. Number 1, coping with changes. Number 2, creating better quality, like spotting flaws and purging mistakes through total quality management.
Number 3, creating faster cycles. Number 4, adding massive value. And number 5, facilitating delegation and teamwork. Let's dig into a few of these so you can see why this is your ultimate tool for growth.
Let's move to and see how this builds into an incredible competitive advantage. On one hand, controlling allows you to adapt on the fly to shifting environmental changes. Think sudden new tech or regulations. On the other hand, it totally speeds up the cycles for delivering customized products. Consumers today don't just want things fast. They want highly personalized, tailored products. Without a tight control process, there's literally no way a company could rapidly adapt its manufacturing or services to meet those niche demands without the whole operation just falling apart. And here is exactly where control meets modern leadership: participative management. Look, back in the old days, a manager just dictated the rules and exactly how to achieve them. Under modern participative systems, you, the manager, communicate the standards. But then you step back. You empower your employees to use their own creativity to solve the problems. A strong control process lets you monitor their progress without hampering their creativity or micromanaging their every single move. So, we've seen how controlling is the steering wheel, how that four-step loop keeps things aligned, and why it's a total game changer for quality and speed. I want to leave you, our future managers, with this provocative question to chew on. As we move further into an era of highly empowered creative teams, how will participative management continue to change the future of the control process? Think about it. How will you actually monitor performance when the exact methods are entirely up to your employees? Something to ponder as you continue your management journey. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.